Once upon a time, our storytellers gather, bringing with them only a set of dice, a scroll of magical story elements, and a passion to create. Rolling for genre, setting and time, and character archetype, our storytellers Ethan, Ari, and Nathan weave a tale right before your very eyes. Stay a while and listen as we share our creativity in progress.
Hello, and welcome to Creativity in Progress. Welcome back to Creativity in Progress. We apologize for our absence last week. I was stuck in the elevator, and I wasn't able to be here. So Nate and Ari were gracious enough to forgive me for my transgressions. But thanks to you again for coming back and joining us for another episode of Creativity in Progress, the show where we make a story from the ground up, and you get to help, or you will be able to soon enough. As always, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Nathan Beatty Jr. III. How are you, Nathan?
Hi, I'm doing well.
This
How
is
are
kind
you?
of phrase of hi. Extremely enthusiastic. I couldn't tell if he was asleep or dying. And then our even lovelier co-host, Ariana Orner. How are you, Ariana?
Hello. Good.
Perfect.
Better than
So
last week.
good.
And you don't need to. Please don't feel the need to tell fallacious lies. It was my fault that we weren't on air last week. I was somewhat under the weather, so I apologize for that, everybody.
No
You never
worries
need
at
to
all. We're just
apologize
glad you're
for-
feeling better.
Thank
Yes,
you.
we're definitely glad to be doing better. And also, I feel like if a lie isn't salacious, it's not doing its job.
The teller isn't working hard enough.
The teller isn't working hard enough. And speaking of salacious, it is time for us to spin those die and actually
Okay.
get into the game, get into tonight's topic. For those of you who's your first time listening to us, we definitely appreciate it. But also, basically, what this show is, as the intro alluded to strongly, is that we roll the die and we choose a story genre based off of said roll, and we roll the die again based to determine a story setting, roll the die again to determine a story time frame. So the first roll, of course, will determine our genre. Nate, are you all set to do the
Yes.
roll?
I believe so. Okay, and this is a D10, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to roll the D10. 1.
Hey, 1. Perfect. So 1 is the action buddy cop genre.
Oh, nice.
Action buddy cop. It's my bread and butter.
Yes. I was gonna say, Ethan, it's your Christmas.
It literally is. This makes you Santa Claus. And I guess it makes Ari Rudolph.
Okay.
Oh,
Don't worry,
bugger.
folks. It gets more awkward.
Helps if I have too many keyboards in front of me. I just sat there and typed buddy cop action on the wrong keyboard. So
I've never heard of someone having more than one keyboard. That's incredible.
yes, well,
Years
like I
ago.
said, it's a low rent swordfish up in here.
I love it.
I see. Okay.
That means you're lower Hugh Jackman.
That is probably the nicest thing you have ever said to me.
that my friend, you've earned it. I could have either gone that way or that with John Travolta. You remember John Travolta? How he looked at that movie with that like weird soul patch?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah,
it's
there's that.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Before we
Okay.
lose everyone else.
All right.
So our next role, my friend, is also a D
Yes.
for the
Let's do
settings.
setting. All right. And that's 8.
Right on. Okay, so 8 is Hidden City. Ooh. That is where R and I first met.
True.
Hidden City. Interesting.
So
Okay.
that can be. There's quite a few things with that. Open-ended in the right kind of way. Very Nathan Drake kind of vibe.
All right. Let's And now we're gonna do. Oh, we're doing time. That's right. We're doing time.
Time
Hold on.
period.
I clicked the wrong button. Back up. Oh, reverse.
That's all right.
All right, let's
Get it
do.
going.
Okay, and this is okay. We'll go and we will roll 2.
Perfect. All right, and 2 is present. All right. So yeah, keep it in line with the Nathan Drake. But the beauty of the course, even though it's set in the present, we can still say that we're searching for artifacts in the past.
Mm.
Okay. All right, and so now we have to roll for our archetypes, and we're going to roll for 3 of them. Three archetypes that served us well. So we're going to do
Yeah,
3 archetypes.
I agree because we can always decide not to use one, but it's good to have 3 just to have a fallback.
Exactly. So now, Nate, obviously, it's always kind of fall into the same area. We could do, because we have 3 different genres. I'm sorry, 3 different archetypes, and we have roughly almost 300. We could do it like 1 through 100 for the first one, 2 or 101 through like 200 next time.
I have to laugh.
Kind of like
Every time we get to this part, you always come up with a different way we could handle it, and I end up just
And I
selecting
always
like a
will.
whole ass load of d20s and rolling them.
I always will, because it's always the same, like right in the same
I don't know why
number
it's
bracket.
stop doing that, RNG. You suck.
Yeah, it's like
RNG,
damn
RNG,
statistical analysis. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll a whole butt ton. 202 is the first.
Ooh,
202.
The number-
202 is Protector. Protector.
Did we already have a protect?
It sounds familiar. I don't know if we particularly.
I don't think we've
had
really had
that
protector.
word. I don't think we had that word.
Okay.
I don't-
I wrote it down anyway.
Okay. All right, and because we're doing a buddy cop situation, it seems so fitting. I kind of want it to be there. So I'll leave it in there.
Okay. All right,
And
and we'll
then
go
so
for another one. Ooh, 226.
Oh, nice. Okay, we haven't had that before. Okay, and 226 is a scavenger. Holy nice. This is actually really good.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
actually liking this. Well done, Nate. Good rolling. Good rolling. I'm not sure what you had for breakfast, but it's working.
I ate my Wheaties. Okay,
Ooh,
Nice.
rolling
All right, and then
again.
we'll go ahead and
Oh, now we're back at the thing. 172, but still we haven't had
there
that
we
one.
go. That's actually, you're right. We haven't had 172. 172 is let's see, nurse. Oh baby,
hmm,
this is gonna be fun.
Okay.
This is gonna be okay. So there are quite a few ways we can go with this, but ultimately, first things first, I will go ahead and recap for the audience and for Nate, because I'm sure he's typing it in. Not
Yeah,
least
I'll get to
possible.
it. I'm
So-
getting to that eventually.
That's all right. That is all right. So this week's role for the genre, we have buddy cop action scenario. The setting is in a hidden city. Time period is the present. Archetype number 1 is protector. Archetype number 2 is scavenger, and archetype number 3 is a nurse. So, dear friends, now I, in particular, for those who do not know, I love the buddy cop genre. My favorite movie of all time is pretty much a tie between Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and Big Trouble in Little China. And Big Trouble in Little China, obviously, is between Jack Burton and Wang as a buddy cops, and in Indiana Jones Last Crusade, it's Indiana Jones and his dad as a buddy cop, buddy genre, buddy situation. So I love them to pieces. I wrote a comic book where it's very much a buddy situation. So I'm actually going to try not to talk nearly as much on this, because I would just go off on it.
Okay, but here's the thing. You brought up Uncharted, and I immediately was like, hell yeah, you cannot go wrong with like a Tomb Raider, Uncharted, Indiana Jones situation.
I agree more.
I would love to go in that direction.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it too. So, Nate, are you cool with that scenario?
Yeah, I'm totally fine.
I'm 100% on board. That's actually where I wanted to go. All right. So it seems obviously that their buddies are trying to search a hidden city for something. Now, do we want our buddies to be a protector and a nurse and a scavenger, or what kind of dynamic do we want?
I like the idea of the scavenger being, well, since it's a buddy cop. Well, it's not. It doesn't have to be a cop.
It's not really a cop. It's semantics.
Action adventure. I feel like 2 of them have equal weight. But I do like the idea of the scavenger being. This is a good a good question because the nurse could be like, "You are not doing this by yourself, you idiot. I have to patch you
Right.
up."
Or
Um,
even, yeah, I was leaning that way too. I was definitely leaning towards scavenger and nurse. And my mentality was that the nurse, it was a situation. Oftentimes the buddies don't set out to be buddies from the start. It ends up it kind of fall into it that way.
Ooh,
So
mhm.
instead, the scavenger is patched up by the nurse, and they're in a situation where the nurse is kind of thrust into the dynamic, the danger because he or she's patching up this guy or her or
yes.
woman.
Yeah, like I mean, it's sort of a built-in dynamic already where the nurse has to be there
Yeah,
to provide assistance to this scavenger, which I
yeah.
assume, I don't know the situation or like if it's working for an organization or if it's just like he hires a doctor. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
well,
Yeah, Nate, what are you gonna say, bud?
I have an idea. I really like the scavenger and nurse as the buddy cop, and I really
okay.
like the protector being the protector of the hidden city.
Exactly. Yeah, that writes itself. Yeah, that writes itself. That's
I
what I was
love,
thinking.
I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So that, yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. Okay, perfect. Which is a very easy scenario. And I like the scavenger is very much a kind of a, if we're gonna get all D&D, it would very much be kind of like either a neutral chaotic or a chaotic good type of guy, like the rogue, like the Han Solo-esque Nathan Drake type of, even Laura Croft-ish type of scoundrel, lovable scoundrel that's not necessarily a hero, but definitely has a code of sorts out there doing their thing.
You
Mhm.
mean the scavenger?
The scavenger, yeah, scavenger.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was very confused for a second. I was like,
Wait, did I say something else? I'm sorry. My Alzheimer's acting up. And my Alzheimer's acting up. And my Alzheimer's acting up. Okay, so I think we'll have so it's the scavenger and the nurse. It could be where we open up the story. Again, I'm trying not to dominate here too much, but more or less, something has to happen to the scavenger where the nurse has to be called into action to kind of patch that person up. So you want to have it that our cold open is go old school Indiana Jones, where we see our scavenger on a previous mission or some kind of a mission trying to get some kind of a relic or whatnot or item or something. And we see him go full Star Lord and things go to crap, and he or she barely manages to survive, and he almost gets knocked, or he or she gets knocked out essentially, and he's found, he pretty much is found somewhere by a Good Samaritan trying to save them. How do you want to play this out?
I like that. So I was either thinking like we start with them in like a hospital bed, um, and we see the direct aftermath of them fucking up, or I like the idea of there being like this immediate action that we start off with, and things go poorly. Actually, I really like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good cold open for this kind of a scenario, having kind of action packed way. Um,
And
okay,
then I suppose things go very wrong very quickly, and then our character ends up in a hospital bed.
yes, that's what I think too. I like that. And so, I'm going to cut you off, Nate, if you were going to say something.
No, you good.
Okay, so what I was going to say was this guy. I keep seeing it as a guy because I keep seeing Nathan Drake. We
Yeah,
could
me
do,
too. My brain keeps, going to Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake archetype.
yeah,
So
it does. Unless you want to flip it, have it that in this particular example, it's a female that's a scavenger, Nathan Drake, and the nurse is a dude. Um,
that would be interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
I
yeah,
like it.
okay.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so we'll do it that way, and we'll call it as opposed to what was Nathan Drake's at the end of our trailer 4. They have a kid. Can't remember what their kid's name was, but we'll forget that. We'll just call this character. We'll call her Croft essentially because it's Laura Croft more or less. So the way I was seeing it was basically because this character, the scavenger, she's at the cold open. She's on a mission doing something, trying to either steal a good or get something that she shouldn't be getting, and it upsets somebody. It upsets the wrong person in the wrong area. So even though she barely manages to make it back to a hospital bed, and is being resuscitated, she still pretty much sets off all the alarms of the people that are in this town, and so the another action sequence entails where the people are trying to get her, trying to get revenge on her, trying to get back the items she stole, and trying to get her, and that kind of thrusts the nurse into being on her team essentially as they're basically going into this hospital and throwing it, trying to get back to Croft. Our
Mhm.
care the nurse Laura is basically, or the Croft is basically kind of bringing along the nurse to kind of keep the nurse alive so he doesn't die in a way.
Mhm.
Well, I like. Hmm.
I'm just spitballing. I'm just spitballing.
I think that's just like that's front loading things quite a lot. I think I like the idea of, okay, so our main character fails the mission, ends up in a hospital bed. The nurse they meet, and either he tries to go again to the same place to like do it right this time, or she accepts the loss and tries to go for a different thing, and then that's where our plot begins.
I kind of like the idea, this popped into my head, having that when she's in the hospital, the nurse walks in and they're like, "Oh, you," and it's somebody from their past. They know each other, and
I do like
that's
that.
why the nurse then ends up tagging along, because they have a history. Whether that history is romantic or it's they were just neighbors or they were whatever, like that can be decided later. But I think they should have a history.
Yeah,
I like that. I think yeah, I think that's we can all agree on that. That's a really good idea. And I think I like a little bit of ambiguity as to their past. We don't know if they had a relationship, if they wanted one, if he wanted one with her, or vice versa, or what it was. But
mhm.
they clearly had something. My only reluctance to have it where Croft tries to go back into steal the item a second time is that it's kind of redundant. I don't necessarily want to have the rest of the same thing unless we had it that he failed so hard the first time that it's almost like it's that stubbornness and pride is what's driving her to try to do it again, which is also what makes the nurse, who we haven't named yet, makes him so much more, makes him kind of realize, if I don't follow behind her, she'll probably die. So we
Right.
can go, is that what you're thinking of, Ari?
Well, you sound like you have an idea, Nate. So go ahead first.
Well, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, I think it might be a good idea to have the first whatever that is that messes up and ends and has her being in the hospital. I think it would probably be good to have that either be like the first or one of the earlier things, like earlier mini bosses, I guess, in the overall, or something unrelated that inadvertently uncovers the Holy Grail search that she
Absolutely.
wants to go after. So it's not that she's going, like, not that she went after the Holy Grail and failed and then ended up in the hospital and then goes after it again. I think it's one of the earlier steps to find it failed, but is going to continue. And the nurse is like, oh, son of a bitch, and has to follow
Absolutely.
along.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw it as a MacGuffin number one away.
Mhm.
Like this is the first part towards a bigger, grander thing. And the scavenger Croft, she realizes that that's what it is. Like, oh shit, this is this is only part of what I'm looking for. I have to keep going. And our nurse character, we got to name him something. He's pretty much there. Like, he's there with her. He's like, I knew it. You need to go back to the hospital now. You're about to fall apart. And that's when the protectors people, or not even the protectors people, but someone shows up. Or actually, you know what? We could have it either that it's a person that shows up that pretty much tries to stop Croft, or it is in fact another trap or something that tries to stop them or nearly kills them. Either way works.
So for the protector, I like the idea of them being a part of the hidden city. Because although, so how do we want to? This is hard.
It is hard. I
Okay,
think you're
so I
right
have
though. What you
2 ideas.
okay?
One is that the protector is part of the hidden city, doesn't leave the hidden city, is a person who protects it, and
Yes.
kind of like a paladin, so they have to be close to their designated area. Or it could be someone who has been exposed to the outside world and, walks among people and tries to stop them before they get there. It's
Yes.
kind of like an undercover type situation, but I don't know. I don't.
I love my food. I love burgers and cakes and desserts. So I like to have my cake and eat it too. What if it's not just a single entity that is the protector? It could also be kind of like an Illuminati of sorts. Again, to go back to Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, there is basically like a magi system in there where there's a group of people, a group of protectors that are assigned to try and keep the Holy Grail hidden. It could be something similar where there's lower level foot soldiers that try their best to keep people from finding MacGuffin number 1 to MacGuffin number 2 to eventually get to the hidden city. And then once we actually do get to the hidden city itself, we see the big boss, the main protector Prime. But in the meantime, we just see the small fry.
Yeah, that could work.
We could go full Thanos here, where we do see we kind of we cut, like, and meanwhile we'll see the main protector sitting on his throne, or we'll see him somewhere, but the main character Croft and the protector don't come face to face until the end.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of at least one of the protector, or maybe the end boss protector, being, well, the end boss. So we don't
Right.
wait until the very end and the boss fight, basically.
Yes. And I'll just say one last thing, and then I'll shut up for a while, I promise. I think we should have it where the book, the story, whatever it is, opens with some kind of a trap or traps nearly killing Croft. And that's what kind of puts her into the hospital. Then when she goes back out of stubbornness to get it again, she knows how to get around the traps, and that's when a person or persons, someone shows up, and they're fighting her, and it shows that she actually can fight, defend herself, and everything, but she's losing because she's outnumbered or whatever it might be, and she's pretty much getting ready to get dealt with or handled, and that's when the nurse character basically kind of shows up and does something just long enough to distract her attackers, and then Croft is able to kind of finish them off afterwards. So that's kind of how their second meet cute plays out in capacity.
I do like that, but it seems, well, doesn't that seem like something that should happen a little later on?
Well, no, because I guess the thing is we need to get the buddies together pretty
Right.
quickly. And as Nate said, it could be that as soon as Croft wakes up in the hospital bed, she immediately recognizes the nurse. It's like, oh God, it's you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And part of the reason she wants to leave so fast is, of course, to get the treasure. The other reason is because she doesn't want to see the nurse. Being around him is just not good for her. It's not comfortable for him, so she wants to leave as fast as possible. And also the nurse, because I'm sorry, go ahead, Nate.
Well, I was gonna say why is it uncomfortable for her?
I think we could be, the easiest way to go is that they did have a romantic past of some kind.
Well, I think
But I don't know really.
I don't want the romantic past. I think romantic tension is cool, but they don't need to. I think probably they have the tension, but I don't know if it should be like, because that's sort of like, it sort of defeats the purpose of them being, brought together, and they have more tension. And if it's going a romantic way, then at the end you get that nice resolution. But
yeah, I think I don't think that it should be like an awkward, like, I think it should be like obviously a little awkward. I think a lot of movies and stories handle it like where they see each other and are like, oh, this is weird, isn't it? And then there's like one or two conversations that there's awkward tension, and then the tension is released in some way, either the acknowledgement of the awkwardness, or they kiss or what. I don't know. But
yeah, no, you're right. I agree with that.
And then I think then that's put behind, and then there's the lingering, like, are they, aren't they, Ross Rachel kind of thing through the movie, and then we go. But I think actually it adds complication if we make them like really awkward a lot heavier on.
That's not the point of the story this early.
Yeah.
The point of
but it's a good subplot.
Yeah.
So I agree. I agree entirely. There was romantic tension. They were never an item, but there was romantic tension. Part of what divided them was the idea that if you are a nurse or in the medical profession, and you're the person that you do have feelings for constantly endangers themselves and others, that's a turnoff. And if you're a thrill seeker,
why I'm out. I can't do this anymore.
Yes.
Because I care for you, and I can't stand to see you doing stupid shit all the time. So bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so it could be that as soon as Croft wakes up in the bed and she sees, I'm calling him Steve because my buddy You guys have met somebody, Steve, who is a nurse. So I'm gonna start calling the nurse Steve. She sees Steve of course, as soon as Steve sees her, he says something like, I don't know, better luck next time. And then Croft rolls her eyes at him, and it's pretty much they try to have a civilized conversation, and of course, it quickly leads to him saying, remarking how she's endangering herself again, and
Mhm.
she's fighting, she's pushing back as far as it's my life, let me live it how I want to live it, kind of thing. And that, so it's not so much as far as it's like romantic tension as it is just tension.
Yeah.
There is obviously some other stuff behind in there, but it's on the offset. All we just hear is them having a conversation that feels very familiar about them just not respecting each other's life choices.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Okay, all right. Now, so that's where we are as far as, and so she does, and we can have it that her leave doesn't necessarily need to be dramatic or hidden. You could just, once Croft gets up, she'd be like, well, I'm out. And of course, Steve could be like, what are you doing? That you're an idiot. And she could say something, what else is new, what have you, and she just walks out, kind of thing. And of course, you could have reaction shots to show that Steve, as angry as he may be at her, he of course cares about her. And as Croft, you can see the same with Croft, as angry as she may be at him, she's like kind of, he feels a little bad that she's doing it, but it's to establish that they do still care about each other. But
So here's my idea, because if Steve is like, you're just doing the same old shit, I'm not gonna do this again. There's no way. So we have this impasse where our nurse character, is not gonna want to help our main character, Croft. But what if, so like she leaves and is like, whatever, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and he's like, fine, be that way. And so he goes on with his life, and she goes off to do the dangerous thing that she probably told him that she was gonna do. And then he finds out somehow some information which will turn out to be bad for her. Like maybe he finds out that some rival organization is planning to kill her or something. Doesn't have to be that. Maybe just some information somehow. And he has to go tell her. But by the time that they meet up again, the thing that he was going to warn her about is already underway. So that traps them together on the mission.
yes, I definitely like the idea of him trying to warn her. I don't know if it would necessarily be something like a group of gangsters or whatnot, or
Yeah, no, that was an example.
no, it's perfectly fine. But I like the idea that they have some pretty hostile words. So they say to each other a pretty hostile goodbye, more or less. And then Steve does realize. I mean, it could also be in the area that they're in. It's the present day, but the area that they're in, it could be somewhere like Ecuador or whatnot. He's aware of he could be aware of where Croft is trying to go, what she's trying to do, essentially. And he could also catch wind of how dangerous that, in particular, that place is.
Mhm.
And because of that, he reluctantly is like, if I let this happen, she'll die.
Yeah,
I want to do something to help her. It could be that he does see some kind of something that looks dangerous, that seems to be going that direction or whatnot. That's possible, but I
What
feel
if
like he's not trying to.
heard someone who says the same thing to him, who
I'm sorry?
mentioned, what if he at the hospital or wherever he's working, um, someone says basically the same stuff to him that Croft said to him, but like in a more threatening way. I don't know. He just finds out some plan.
Yes,
Um,
yes, I like
and
that.
like nobody else is going to be able to tell her, and so he's just like, oh fuck, I have to do this again. But he does it because
Yes. So I like. It's if I'm understanding correctly, it's almost like there are other dangerous people that are going to the same place. They're not going there to have anything to do with Croft. They're just going there. But
yeah,
he knows that if he doesn't, if he doesn't try to alert her, let her know, they'll probably kill her in the process by proxy.
yeah,
So
they don't
I
want.
got you. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been done before, but it works.
No, it's perfectly fine. I actually like that a lot. Also, because ultimately he is still trying to. He's invested in keeping her safe. He does care about her.
Yeah,
So if he was in a way, if he knew about these dangerous people were getting ready to go to this place that she was at and did nothing, he'd feel like shit. So he has to do something. Yeah, it's a great motivation for him. I get it. He can also have it where he's very reluctant to do it. He's very much like, God damn it. He's not happy about it, but he has to do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I like that.
Right. So that's the beginning. I like it a lot. And then we cut back to Croft in the. Is it I guess so. She's looking for a MacGuffin number 1, which is basically like a tomb of sorts, I guess, right? That's what we're going with, or is it like a?
Let's just lean into the Lara Croft thing. Just
I
lean
know,
into it.
I know. I'm shameless.
Maybe we can call it Tomb Searcher. Like,
Let's not have it be a tomb. I mean,
Right.
it is a hidden city, so it's supposed to be a hidden city.
Yeah.
It's like an El Dorado type situation.
But yes, but I think what we're doing now is though that she's not necessarily, she's still looking for the pieces. She's not looking for the actual city itself. The city comes later.
Right.
So she's looking for the, for example, she would need a key or even a map or something first. And this is the first part of her journey, is getting this item, essentially. So where would she get this item from? And if we have her, it can't be too too modern as far as like a house or a bank, because that make her just a criminal. So it has to be someplace that's neutral enough for her to not raid, but look into, where it's
get out your thesaurus.
I mean, I have no problem with her committing, small felonies to get what she wants.
you guys, we can actually, you know what? We can go that way. You guys want to go a little bit,
I mean,
make her a little less scrupulous?
like so over her shit because he puts herself in danger and does illegal shit to get what she wants.
Ooh. I'm reading Nate's mind. Nate's probably thinking this. What if we had it that she has almost like a Robin Hood complex. So she is going to, it is a modern day like drug lord's house.
Museum. Sorry.
It could be a museum also. She's robbing a museum from the community, which is even worse. But it could be like this, like a drug lord or something, like a bad guy's house. And this bad guy happens to have an item that she wants, something like that. So she's breaking into a person.
Belong to a bad person, and so she's like, you know what? He doesn't deserve it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Which of course sets off the alarms for Steve, as far as that's really dangerous. And then of course Steve overhears the idea. So even if we did it this way, we could have it, instead of having that Steve, some other criminals pop into the hospital coincidentally. You show him continually thinking about the idea that she's going to a very dangerous place, trying to break into a place against a whole bunch of crime lords.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates him to go there and help her out.
Yeah, I have a vision of a scene of him, like, and I think it should be a thing where like he finds out, like, while he gets the bulk of the information from her, it's some clue or something, like a newspaper article or something, where he puts the pieces together and realizes, oh shit, she's gonna go do dumb thing. And then I have this vision in my head of because he's a nurse, I keep thinking of the guy from Scrubs. But doing like this thing where like he keeps like walking like he's gonna go help her or stop her, and then stops and then goes back and he's like, no, I'm gonna finish dressing this wound of this unconscious person. No, I'm gonna leave. Like back and forth.
Right. Yes, we have to have that. I think also it seems in a way like our somewhat of a more comic relief. Typically, what you have with the buddy cop quote unquote situation is you have one of them is quite the loose cannon that's kind of over the top of the adventure, and one of them is obviously much more reluctant, and which can be sometimes funnier. So it seems like our nurse character will probably be the kind of funnier, reluctant one.
Yeah, I want him. The more I think about it now, I actually want him to be played by the friend of the main guy from Scrubs, the black guy.
Oh, Turk. Yeah, Donald Faison.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Like,
yeah, okay, I'm on board with that.
That's awesome.
I'm on board with that. Yes, entirely. So yes, so we have our, and we can call him Turk instead of Steve. We're going to do that. But either way, yes.
We should probably be a little bit more, vague with the names.
Yeah, I know.
A little less copyright infringing.
Well, yeah, because when you put Croft and then you say, what is she gonna raid a tomb? And it's like, all right, come on, we're just aping off the franchise here.
I will go to prison. Okay. So
more appropriate names.
Yes, there definitely are. We can rename her something else. Not Croft. We can call her
Lara.
No.
I was just trying to get ahead of Ethan on that one.
No, and I love it. But the first thing that came to mind is actually Nathan Drake's wife, who's Ellie. Isn't her name Ellie, I believe?
Elena,
but we can call her Ellie. call her Ellie. It's not the same.
Ellie said last to us.
I'm dying over here. We're trying. We're
We're
trying to come up with
trying-
names that don't copyright infringe.
They don't matter. They literally don't matter at all. They don't matter. It couldn't matter.
Next time, okay? We'll come up with some. We can just, we can just call them by their archetypes now.
Yes.
We can. All right. But, yeah, she's right. Of course, we want to move on some. So okay. So now we're back at the.
Except Steve,
so
that doesn't infringe on anything.
Steve is open. Steve is ours. We copyrighted Steve. That's our game. That's how we own Steve. So Steve and Ellie. Okay. So now as we obviously, like you said, we see Turk, or you see Steve, like as he deduces from, because obviously our Ellie or our scavenger character wasn't forthright as to why she was there, but given the circumstances, Steve deduces pretty much that she must be there looking for something, and then he gets, like you said, he sees a news article or he sees something on the television alluding to the idea that a criminal crime lord has a bizarre artifact or something in his house, and he realizes what's going on, and that's when he kind of freaks out as far as like, damn, I gotta do something or not do something. He doesn't know what to do. He's pacing back and forth, and then finally he just says, God damn it, and we all realize what that means. We cut back to our scavenger character as it's at night now, and she's carefully breaking into this crime lord's house, and there's still all kinds of guards and everything on patrol or whatnot, but she's very carefully getting through there. There's probably some dogs and whatnot, but she's like using like bait and kibble to kind of get the dogs away or what have you. And she manages to get in there into the house and to get some kind of an item looking for. And again, because the item is such a MacGuffin, it doesn't really have to be all that paramount. It could literally be that she gets, we can kind of do a little bit of fake out where she picks up an item, it was something that looks very expensive and priceless. And she picks it up, puts it in her knapsack, and leaves. It turns out that later on, she destroys that item and opens up, and it opens up and reveals like a treasure map, like a national treasure. The back of the Declaration of Independence is actually a map or something else.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, why would a crime lord have like just a random map sitting around? It probably is something like a container that holds like a puzzle box or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that holds the map. Very,
Actually, I like the puzzle box idea. I like that even more.
Yeah.
Even more. So it's a puzzle box, and I think I like the idea too that once our scavenger character manages to make it out, that Steve is there, or the nurse, whatever, is there, and she, part of her, even though she's an amazing adventurer, she's amazing at getting through all kinds of traps and everything else, she kind of sucks at puzzles themselves sometimes. And Steve immediately, like, with almost no effort, is able to unlock the puzzle box.
I like that.
Oh, I like it a lot. But she's more used to. Well, that's probably why she got like busted up in the beginning with all the traps, because she's bad at solving puzzles.
Yes.
Right.
I like that.
Yes, exactly. She's definitely she's better at solving puzzles. And so you're going to have her. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ari.
When he solves the puzzle with her or for her, he's like, oh, well, now you have to come along.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think what also is going to happen is I see her making pretty much, for the most part, a clean escape from the house. But then it has to be something, as she's pretty much 1 foot away from the yard line, or 1 yard away from the end zone. Like she'll either snap her fingers almost like in celebration, that alert the dog, and then of course the dog start barking, and all the security people, all the patrolling will kind of see her, and they'll give chase. She'll barely manage to escape, and she'll kind of bump into Steve or something like that. He will say, "Are you all right? I came here because I was trying to warn you." He's like, "Warn me, I'm fine," kind of thing. And then she would basically break the item, then reveal the puzzle box. She loses it because it's a puzzle box, she can't fix it. And then Steve opens it up. I got it. Okay, it's open up. Now let's go. If I can't leave now, I just have what I need to keep moving. What are you talking about? This is terrible. And again, because they're already being chased by the patrol people and the dogs, then Steve and Scavenger could hijack or confiscate some kind of a car or a Jeep or something like that, and had to make a huge escape from a chase scene. Basically, it's a chase scene. And because the two of them are forced to be together on this chase scene, that's how they managed to become a team, a duo, so to speak.
Right.
And we could also have, for more dramatic flair, we could have it that once she bumps into him, obviously the puzzle box is still the item is still in the puzzle box, and while they're being chased, he's like, "You have to open it up now," kind of thing. And he desperately during the chase, while she's doing all kinds of crazy acrobatic moves with the car and everything else, and the bullets are flying and whizzing by them. He's able to open the puzzle box during the chase in a more dramatic way, and she's also a little bit of plot reveal as far as like he's asking, he's like, "What are we doing? What is this inside here? What is this item?" She reveals the idea that she's trying to find the hidden city of, Beatty Apocalypse or whatever it is, something like that, so to speak. Or you can use a card chase to reveal some of the exposition as far as where she's trying to go and what she's trying to do.
Yeah, he's just like explain yourself. She's like, okay, but yeah, I'm just gonna actually hold this.
Right. Perfect. Okay. All right. Cool. And then they manage to escape. And by the time they manage to everything kind of coincides, they manage to escape. They go over a bridge or something, and the scavenger shoots out the timbers of the bridge or shoots out the ropes of the bridge collapses, and they manage to escape their sewers. And at the same time as the sea opens up the puzzle box to reveal the item, and it's a map. I guess what would the first item be in this journey? Probably a map or something that would lead them in another direction.
Yeah, it has to be something like a map.
Yeah.
At least coordinates or something.
Right. Yeah, map or coordinates. Yeah, something like that. Okay. Some kind of an item that definitely has coordinates or whatnot. Yeah, it could really be like something that just has like a little cute something on it that has coordinates written on it in a manner.
Yeah, like I always like that was one thing I did like about the like the Nathan Drake and the Tomb Raider games, where everything it wasn't like a puzzle box that opened up to a map that said go here now. It was
Right.
like go to this. The puzzle box opened a thing that gave a clue that led you to another thing. Like I really liked that piece of those kinds of stories where it was like breadcrumbs that led you to the thing, and it wasn't just a big old treasure map like we're pirates or something.
Yeah, it's not that obvious. I agree. Right. It could be. So we could have it that the item or the artifact, whatever it is that they uncover, they themselves aren't equipped to deal with it, so they have to go to another village or something to find someone that's able to read whatever they have. And it doesn't be anything too elaborate or too big. It could literally just be that they go to, the little shop owner, in a distant location, and when they're on their journey to this other location to get this artifact read or whatnot, that's when it's our first time we see our real protector, the real guy, because protector and the gangster aren't the same people. They're two different things. But the protector has been made aware of the fact that the first item has been revealed. Essentially, it could be that we see that during the car chase, we see like a shadowy figure observing Ellie and Steve as they're driving around, so to speak, and so that this shadowy figure then reports back to the protector as far as something's happening, so to speak. So we introduce our big bad.
Well, let me throw out another potential angle for the protector.
Yeah.
I like the idea of there's this gangster or whatever, like he's maybe an Elon Musk type person who's trying to, maybe is interested in this and looking into it, and by his obtaining this item has alerted the protector, whatever we end up having the protector be. I kind of like the idea of the protector not necessarily being the big bad, but being like, I'm protecting this city no matter who comes here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of maybe at the end, I realize I do what I always do, jumping to the end. I kind of like the idea of the protector being like, okay, I'm not going to kill you because you're not, to our good guys. I'm not going to kill you two because you're not jerks. Him I'm going to kill, but get the fuck out.
Right.
Yeah,
he's definitely much more of a kind of a lawful neutral type of character. And since Ellie is very much, or the scavenger is very much teetering on the edge of breaking the law, but in a
Mhm.
selfish way, he's like, I have to do what I have to do.
Yeah.
But at this point in the story, having using kind of the ominous nature of the reveals, we don't even know exactly who this guy is. This big, huge, shadowy figure, and so he seems like he would be kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that a lot. I also okay, so here's what popped into my brain when you said the previous things. So okay, so they have this thing that they can't read, um, and I like the idea of it being in like an old or an ancient language, that only a few people in the world.
Ooh, I like that.
Uh-huh.
Our protector frequents those places because he knows that whoever, you know, finds one of the artifacts in order to look for it, you know, they're gonna go to one of these people, right? Because they
Uh-huh.
can't read it themselves. So he hangs around to just double check and make sure that nobody's found anything. So,
Yes.
but of course, our main characters go to this place and um, is like, "Can you please help us read this?" to some person who can actually do it. And then the
Yeah.
protector sees them there and is like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Yes.
that.
I like all of that. It's that you said. Do you want to have it that it's our actual main protector that sees them, or just one of his spies, or you can have? I guess you can have our protector spying on them. In the shadows, we see our protector that notices.
hmm,
Well, I
hmm,
think one thing we need to establish is the protector magical. Like
ooh,
like
Yeah,
are
that's a
we
really big question. Really big question.
yeah, like is it like is this a magical creature being thing that protects the city, or is it an ancient order of the, you know, Iga clan that, you know, protects this city? Like which angle are we going? Are we sticking firmly in reality, or are we getting a little mystical?
I
damn it!
kind of want to go a little
Why would you do that to me?
bit.
Why would I do what?
Why would you make me choose between?
Make her choose. Make her choose.
Well, I will point out this is one of the few times where that question has come up, and it was, and the premise of the story wasn't automatically magical, like, you know, like the
Right.
collegiate one and the you know, the Frozen Mandalorian we did in the first episode.
Yeah.
They all had basic magical premises, but in other stories we had thought about, maybe should we go magical, and we were like, nah, no. This is the first time where we're kind of like, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't, I don't know. You know?
Well, part of the charm of the story is that the hidden city could be anything.
Yeah.
So, for it to be that hidden and that precious, and
Mhm.
and for our character to go through this much effort, for it to be literally be the first clue towards this city to be written in a dead language, essentially, this city has to be something otherworldly or exotic. It can't just
Yeah.
be and come here to get fried chicken. It's got to. I mean, maybe not like over the top mystical or magical, but something a little extra. I mean, even if it's just like out in the
So
youth or something.
what if we go a little Lovecraftian with it? And
Ooh,
it's magical, but not in a great way.
Ah, okay.
right. You want to summon demons and monsters.
Pretty not great way. And so part of the protector's job is not only protecting the city, but protecting people from the city.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um,
Yes.
and when you get these, when people get their hands on these artifacts, um, that's when things start to get kind of creepy. And I'm thinking kind of like a true detective. They didn't actually go the direction that I wanted them to go in,
Mhm.
which was, the actual Carcosa King in the Yellow type thing, which would have been awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Hello King. Yeah.
Um, maybe it starts based firmly in reality, and then things just keep getting weird.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That reminds me of. I showed it to you, Ellie. I almost called you Ellie. Wow. I'm gonna go. I think I showed it to you, Ari. One of my favorite animes is called Spriggan. I know Nate doesn't know it. Spriggan is basically where it starts off much more grounded in reality kind of thing, where it's a super duper kind of field agent. And as he gets further along in the story, it ends up getting towards it. It's revealed that what they're trying to protect is Noah's Ark, and that Noah's Ark has the ability to literally determine the weather. And at the end of the movie, you see it literally being used to like cause like an Armageddon apocalypse, essentially.
Ooh,
It's introduced slowly, throughout the story.
Mhm.
We can where if as long as our main characters that we're seeing, it's clear that they're very much normal humans, and they also aren't entirely aware of what they're being tangled up in.
Yeah.
Even as far as just she, uh, her motivation can't be that she wants to rule the world with the power of Lovecraftian gods. It more or
No,
less believes
I think she's
is something that's very valuable.
and she just likes, she likes doing this stuff for the. She has absolutely no idea that it's so weird. It's just a big challenge for her,
Mhm.
Right.
and she wants to tackle it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I think it is too. It's a challenge. It's because she's a thrill seeker. It's fun, and that she's heard it's a great prize. Doesn't know exactly what it is, but she's after it for that reason, so to
Mm.
speak. And like you said, our protector, he's not or she's not trying to actually. They're protecting the world from the city, and the city may actually. I see the city not actually harboring these monsters or demons, but that it has there's like essentially a portal that can be opened.
Yeah,
So these
gateway.
items that a gateway, yeah, gateway. Again. So
Yeah.
these items that our scavenger is collecting, when all these items are put together, that's what causes these things to happen. Because I guess these parts or these items were separate. These artifacts were
We were
separated on
separate for
purpose.
a reason.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So part of the story will be her literally going to collect all these different things and actually collects them and brings them to the in the city at the end. That's when, of course, our big, huge Act 3 unfolds. Now, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but I'm on board with everything you guys are both saying. One question I have, though, is that if the Protector, when Steve and Ellie go to this person to have them read the dead language off this artifact,
Mhm.
if the Protector is there and he sees her right off the bat, why wouldn't he just stop her then? As far as like, nope, I gotta stop you right now. Why would he allow them to keep going? Or do we want to have him try to stop them and they manage to
Well,
elude him or beat him or something?
I think it I think it should be maybe it's a, if this is protector, I don't think it's necessarily the protector frequency. I think the protector goes and says, "Hey, I I don't, all this is what I want you to do. You know this dead language. Somebody comes and brings you a puzzle box and asks you what it says on top. To answer it. Give them exactly the right information and let me know. Here's a C note for you if you do that."
Okay.
Mhm.
And then that's how he found out.
Okay. So I guess the idea is he wouldn't be there then. The Protector, I actually like that idea a lot. The Protector himself isn't there. The
Mhm.
person that gives information to Ellie and Steve does it, and then as soon as they're gone, we see that person kind of pretty much like a phone call or what have you, or send a raven or whatnot, and
Mhm.
and that's how the Protector finds out about it. I think.
Yeah.
That's the same method of communication. Ravens.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. over the Westeros, the Great Wall. But yeah, something like that. I actually like that idea a lot. Having it that because that way we're able to introduce our big bad ominously without him being directly involved, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
show how he's able to keep tabs on everything. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also you don't know, like are these the gangsters? Are these the,
Yeah.
Yes,
whatever.
yes. I love this. I love this. I love this. Okay, this is great, and this is a great setup for Act One. To conclude Act One, and pretty much a great place for us to stop because now
Yes.
where we are in the story is that we have uh, our two leads, our two buddies, Steve and Ellie, on a mission together, and and they're set up into a big, huge world. They have no idea what's going on.
Hmm?
All right, so I'll do a quick recap here before I look at my dessert, whatever Ari made. That sounds dirty. That sounds much dirtier than I meant for it to sound. Before I look at the illustration Ari made.
It works too. It's fine.
Okay. All right. So the title for this piece is still to be determined. We'll come up with something later on. The genre that we rolled for is a buddy cop. The setting is a hidden city. Time period is present. Archetype number 1 is a protector. Archetype number 2 is a scavenger. Archetype number 3 is a nurse. And in Act 1, our story opens with our scavenger, Ellie, trying to steal something from a very dangerous place and failing miserably. We now know that's basically a gangster's home, and she sets off a bunch of traps. Uh, Ellie barely manages to escape and makes it to a hospital for help. And she wakes up. She's being cared for by nurse Steve. it's clear that Steve and Ellie have a past with lots of tension in it. Steve and Ellie bicker back and forth about their life choices. Ellie leaves angrily to go back to the gangster's house and try to break in there again and get what she's after. And then Steve, in the aftermath, deduces why Ellie's going through the house, what she's trying to get. He reluctantly and begrudgingly goes back trying to help Ellie before she gets herself killed. Once Ellie's there, she manages to break in this time successfully and does in fact retrieve some bizarre-looking artifact. When she's nearly escaped from the location, she, almost in a celebratory way, snaps her fingers prematurely, alerting a dog and several of the henchmen that are walking the premises to her location. Steve shows up at the last second, pretty much saying that he's there to help her because he realizes that something's going terribly wrong and doesn't know what's happening, but knows that she's in danger. The two of them quickly get into a Jeep or confiscate some kind of a car, and a big, huge, epic car chase ensues. During the chase, Steve asks Ellie what's going on, what this is all about. He, of course, tells him that she's on the quest to find a hidden city, which supposedly has all kinds of riches and all kinds of artifacts and power, and it'd be a great chase. And she's trying to open up this artifact that seems to be locked. She quickly smashes it on the ground to reveal that it's actually a locked puzzle box, and she has no idea how to open it. While they're still being chased, Steve quickly uses his talent to unlock the puzzle box, and they find an artifact that has an object on it that's written in has a dead language written on it. They quickly manage to evade their pursuers, and they escape, and they go to basically some kind of an old soothsayer that knows how to read this dead language. And the two of them, Ellie and Steve, go off on their journey some more, and we see that this old soothsayer is in fact a spy of sorts, working with the Protector, and the soothsayer sends a note to the Protector that someone is on the trail of the hidden city. And so we end our story, end Act 1, by seeing this large, ominous being known as the Protector, realizing that someone's coming closer towards their domain.
All right. Sounds good to me.
That is the end of Act 1.
All right. I think that was a good day's work. I don't know about you. I like that. I like the story. I want to see this movie.
No, I really want to see this movie.
I know this is. The best part about this one is, I don't think we've essentially done it that much, where we have a subplot that could be, interesting, engaging as well. This one seems like it has potential for a subplot too. Most buddy comedies don't have potential for romance. The idea that this buddy comedy could have romance or not. It's either way.
Yeah, I like that.
The way it works. As I've turned, for the listeners of the podcast who can't quite see this, I've finally turned over and seen what Ari has drawn, and I love our scavenger character for so many reasons. It's perfect. For one thing, I'm a huge fan of ponytails, and she has a badass ponytail. But Ari, would you like to go ahead and give a few more? Let our listeners know what you've created.
Well, I've drawn our main character, the scavenger. I mean, that's that's about it. I mean, you want me to describe? Okay, for future reference, do you want me to describe what I've drawn for people who don't see the stream, or just?
Sure.
Well,
You're up for it.
Okay.
No, you go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. I went to say something, and then it's hell getting old.
It's fine. Or you can describe it if you want, or if you'd rather not describe it, you don't have to. It's your.
Well, she's just a strong, like physically strong, woman with dark hair. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and a badass ponytail. She reminds me. Yes, she reminds me of. Did you ever see any images of the main character from Portal?
Oh, Chell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she reminds me of her.
She's very Chell-like.
Yes. But the part of the beauty of this character, its design, is that she doesn't look like all over muscular or too, like, she doesn't look like a She-Hulk. She looks like a person who gets her exercise from hunting down treasures or doing all kinds of physical activity. So she
Yeah.
is in shape, but she's not like doesn't look grotesquely unnaturally big or
Agree.
anything like that.
I mean, the person who does what Nathan Drake does is fit. Like you can't do
Yeah,
that and be a rail of a person.
no,
no.
no. There's definitely muscle tone, but it's not over the top. You're in shape. She's in shape.
Yeah.
I love it. Great character. I love the smirk too.
Cool.
I love it. Good stuff. All right. All right, Nate. I'll let you go ahead and take this.
All right. Well,
us in.
anything else before I? Whoa! I went to the wrong. I clicked the wrong thing. Oh yeah, that's right. I have a whole. There we go. All right. Anything else before I wrap this puppy up?
Nothing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. We also put this out on the podcast feed, so search us for us in your favorite podcast catcher. And then also, Ethan and I are doing a show on Saturdays. We still are trying to figure out a name. Noobs in Progress, I think we're working on calling it.
Yeah, sure works. It works for me.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
We're doing that on Saturdays where we either stream a video game or we talk about a movie that one of us hasn't played and or seen. So it's pretty fun times. Yeah, so thank you all for joining us, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
Bye.